my heart if you decide to fly away now. Running from the guns, I am running from the guns. I'll make the devil mad dancing with you. All the angels looking jealous because your halo was hoops hovering.
McKinley Dixon is a hip-hop jazz poet based in Richmond, Virginia. His 2021 album, For My Mama and Anyone Who Looked Like Her, was an exploration of empathy and an unpacking of blackness. His newest album, Beloved Paradise Jazz, is set to drop June 2nd. We're live at Mission Creek in Iowa City. I'm joined by McKinley Dixon. Did I inflect that album correctly?
That was perfect. It
is that how
like whimsical, but also like serious, you know?
Yeah.
Jazz?
Is that what Toni Morrison intended?
Honestly, I don't think there's any punctuation on any of her titles, so we just inferring right now. It's an assumption right now.
Yeah.
If she was to say it, she'd be like, jazz? You know? Rest in peace to the legend.
Rest in peace to the Let's go on and we'll start our conversation about Toni Morrison, because you called her the greatest rapper ever.
All time.
And you stand by that.
Definitely. Toni Morrison has infected and sort of influenced so many things in modern day culture that we don't even really understand it, you know. And I say it a lot because if you read Beloved, Sula, Bluest Eye, they're all kind of horror, you know what I mean? But they are so well at discussing and describing how these harrowing times can also have love within them, and this love can have harrowing moments within it so beautifully that we don't even notice that these are like, we usually put it in one genre, which then sort of also comes down to my music, you know, in a way, because we don't understand what's going on. We sort of put it into one box when in actuality, you know, like Jordan Peele's stuff is like horror, black horror, but I mean, that's comes from where, you know what I mean? Like, she was one of the first to really sort of implement those things with her writing, so that's why she's the greatest rapper of all time.
I love Hanif Abdurraqib, and you have enlisted him on 2 tracks in your upcoming album. One being the intro where he reads some Toni Morrison. Is that right?
Yep.
Tell me more about that. I'm ready.
Yeah, Hanif put me on his favorite records of 2021. I think at number 10. I might be wrong. It might be something like 200. I really don't remember. I only saw my name and then really just didn't read the rest of the album. You know what I mean?
But you made the list.
Yeah, I made the list. I was like, who cares? What other list is there? You know what I mean? So I got on like, I was maybe number 10, and we had been friends for a while because he also knew another couple of bands that I'm friends with. You know, he's really into punk and pop punk and like historian of that kind of stuff, especially with like Objects of Sounds. But I was like, dude, what if we did like a Big Rube kind of thing where you like narrate this like intro, you know, and I make like, I put some music behind it. But he was like, all right, what do you want me to say? And I was like, you pick whatever you want. And then he just comes back. He's like, obviously, I'm going to read the beginning of Jazz. And it just works so well because then my producer, Onirologia, put a soundscape underneath it. So then it became sort of this, like, not just this telling of this, like, reading, but it also became this, like, story of Hanif walking through the town or wherever, the world, the planet, whatever you view this as, of the album before the album starts, you know? And then from there, the first song is Sun I Rise, and that's, like, the sun is, like, beginning in that city, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. Shouts out to him because it just fit perfectly.
Hanif's a beautiful music writer and poet. Yes. And I don't know, do you know any other albums he's on? Who else has got him?
I'm his first one. That's what he said. Besides his self-made mixtapes that he was making.
That's crazy.
It might be on the next one. Honestly, I might just keep it going. It's a cool thing.
That's a narrator.
Yeah, right?
That's a narrator.
Exactly.
Let's talk about other crazy people you got on your records. You ended, the outro song has Dr. Cornel West, and he's talking about John Coltrane on your previous album. And I'm wondering, did you meet Dr. Cornel West, or did you pull that from somewhere?
Yeah, so that was off of...
Because I've seen talks, he talks about John Coltrane a lot. And
he does love talking about John Coltrane. Yeah, so what it was... I think that was off Who Taught You Hate Yourself. He came to my school like years and years and years ago, and it was like really inspiring because he does this whole like lecture about a bunch of things like jazz and music and beauty and like black life and how these all things like sort of intersect. And then it was like, that was really cool. But the thing that inspired me was the lecturer then goes, all right, it's over. So then a lot of like the white folk leave, but then he just walks off stage and walks onto the like ground, and then everybody runs around him. And it's sort of this thing where he listens to everybody's story. He listens to everybody. He signs pictures. He takes photos. He gets paintings. Everybody tells him they love him, changed his life, and it's really beautiful. And I was just like, you know what? I could just sit here and wait, because if he's doing this, you know, he's ready I could just run up on him. So I waited for like another hour, 30 minutes. And then I pulled my phone. I walked up to him and I was like, I heard you on Brother Ali's record. I heard you do your own sort of musical thing. Do you mind if I record you for my tape? And he was just like, he like looks up and the crowd goes silent. And then he goes, whenever you are ready. And then I'm like, what? And then he's like, your name? I'm like, McKinley Dixon. He goes, I was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because that's the song, the whole thing about the song. And then he just goes, Brother Dixon, I want to be like John Coltrane. And I was just like, oh, here we go. And it was just, that was all just off the top of his head. He just said that. And it was just, yeah, that was when I met, yeah. So I ran up on him and met Dr. Cornel West.
You mobbed him.
I was like, wait a second. He's just chilling. He a regular person. But it was just crazy watching him sort of like the crowd around him was all people that were so influenced by him. And then he just sort of was like, well, I'm influenced by all of y'all too, you know? And I think that sort of really stuck with me more so than the actual lecture. Because I'm not going to hold you. I can't even tell you what the lecture was about. I really don't remember.
Probably John Coltrane.
It was like, he was talking about like marble statues or something. I don't know. It made sense in the context of where I was at the point in my life. But, you know, it was really, really beautiful that he just freestyled that.
Yeah, Brother Dixon, I tell you this though, man, that like John Coltrane, I want to be a force for good, a force for real good, which means fusing humility with tenacity, fusing memory with integrity, and most importantly, being true to oneself the way you are. Stay strong in your quest for truth. Put a smile on John Coltrane's face.
I never thought about so you got two albums that are the same cover but two different colors. The Importance of Self-Belief released first? Second? That's the second one. And Who Taught You to Hate Yourself is the red one. That was released first. You apparently recorded that in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
Is that how you got Sean Price? And can you tell me about that?
Oh, Sean Price, man.
The posthumous
Sean
feature.
Price, Guilty Simpson. So Sean Price is really interesting. Sean Price, I did a song with Guilty Simpson. And Guilty Simpson, Sean Price, and Black Milk were in this group called Random Acts. And I was like, it's me sort of, so you got to go back because first I was listening to like rock music, you know, not even really rock music. It was really sort of like, I love My Chemical Romance. I love The Used. I love Panic at the Disco. I love Pierce the Veil. You know, these are sort of like, these folks are sort of people that, while lyrically I was like, whatever, conceptually they were really like, this is how I talk about these things in my life, and this is how I talk about not only like genre but also in a way like gender. Like they definitely were doing things without like gender being a big issue for them in the early 2000s, which is like really cool. But then I was like, well, now I got to figure out how to make it more lyrical because I'm not gonna hold you. What am I even listening to? Y'all talk about having sex with mannequins. Everyone's dressed up like a ringleader. I don't know what's going on.
You're not Panic at the Disco.
I am not Panic at the Disco. You know what I mean? I am not dressing up like a clown. So then it sort of became this thing where I was like, well, how do I figure out, now I got to find lyrically how to do this. And then Who Taught You to Hate Yourself, I was like, I'm going to be on my rap tip because that's the best lyricists, the best people that can talk about these things are rappers. So I sort of was like this like 19, 20-year-old hanging out with like 47-year-olds, you know what I mean? But they had so much life experience. Yeah, literally had so much life experience that it was really like this thing where I just took all of it in. And Guilty Simpson, I'd always been a fan of Guilty Simpson, you know. His stuff is incredible, and then his stuff with Dilla is incredible. But I sort of became this infatuated with like the way he tells a story. And then I was like, the only person that can rap crazier is Sean Price. So with Guilty, I was like, hey, can you connect me to Sean Price? And he goes, here's his email and his number, but I warned you. And then I was like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? And then I sent him a message email and he gets straight to the point. He don't have a cell phone. He gets straight to the point. Sean Price is like, I'll have this for you. So, you know, we get the song done and he does it. And it was incredible. You know, he sort of, what he does is he doesn't really write anything down. He sort of like did the verse and then re-listened to it and wrote it all down and was like, is this okay? And I was like, obviously it's all okay. You know what I mean? It's all okay.
Yeah, no, that works, Sean.
Yeah, exactly, you know? But he's so funny because this is another story with him is like, if he doesn't like something, boy, will he tell you, man.
That's
like,
good.
I sent him a remix of that song and I literally have the email. I'll show you it when we're done. I have the email and it is literally, he was like, this shit is trash, bro. In another email, sends another email, like literally 30 seconds later, is like, I wouldn't let no one hear this. And I was like, Oh man, okay. You right on that one, man. You right on that one. And that's really like the last email I ever got from Sean Price. And it's honestly just like it's just so funny because that's how it happens.
You can't release that ever now.
I literally never release that.
He told
I got
you.
that email. It was like 2016,
Oh,
like
my
2015,
goodness.
like the funniest thing, man. Yeah, he's really was a legend of his time because just the way that he raps and puts words together was just so incredible. Yeah, rest in peace, Sean Price.
Rest in peace, Sean Price.
Yo, X for P, passionate with rapping the beats. My artificial, you artificial, your rapper this weak. Weak rapping, P smacking your beak. Keep flapping, I beat breaks off geeks, complete street action.
Beloved Paradise. Jazz?